Hey guys, it's Lord here, back again with another overview, and today I'm going to be taking a look at the Mattel Masters of the Universe Origins Wave 6. I've recently done reviews of all these guys. I will leave links to said reviews in the description below, so long as I remember, but for those of you who don't get the gist of overview videos on this channel, these videos are made for those of you who may not have all the time in the world to catch all my reviews and spend the time to watch each of them individually. So I typically tend to do a 10 to 15 minute video breaking down an entire wave of figures, whether it's MOTU Origins, Mythic Legions, Marvel Legends, you name it, DC Multiverse, again, you name it. Typically I will do an overview of it if it calls for it. So with that being said, I gotta tell you, this is a really stacked wave as far as character selection, though I do think Mattel needs to go and rework the molds a bit. There are some loose joints here and there, and a bit of roughness as far as mold degradation goes on a couple of these, but overall, not too shabby. Probably one of the better waves we've gotten this year, I'd say. I think this wave and Wave 4, the wave that had Hordak in it, and Triclops, really stacked as far as characters I like. So, with that being said, starting off with the first figure I took a look at, the mighty Web Store. Web Store. For those of you who caught that video, I did a bit of a Spider-Man theme for old Web Store, because I think he gets a bad rap. People think he's kind of lame. It's kind of whatever. Well, in 2000X, they made him awesome, so hopefully at some point in the near to distant future, we will see a 2000X version of Web Store. We've already gotten a 2000X style Evelyn, and supposedly Skeletor is rumored to show up next year also in his 2000X attire, so that will be pretty cool. Shout out to my buddy Evil Villain for sending me a leaked list that had that listed on it. But back to Web Store. Really fun figure. A little bit loose in the knees. As I said before, some of the joints on this wave are particularly loose, so you may want to get some clear nail polish or some Elmer's glue or something to tighten that up a bit. Personally, I just have his knees bent like the vintage figures do, so it works for me right now. I'll probably see if I can't tighten those up a bit at some point, but for now, he stands okay. He seemed a little bit tighter on a package, but he does have a massive backpack, and that's the one drawback with this figure, is the backpack is significantly larger than the vintage counterpart, which worked, I think, just as well. It had a thinner rope, though, so maybe that's why? I'm not sure, but at the end of the day, my only major gripe with this guy is I wish he had two grip hands so he could hold both his hook and his blaster, but as it stands, you can have him holding his blaster like a Stormtrooper, so that is a plus. One of my favorites from this wave, and definitely one of my favorite Origins figures of the year. Moving on from him, we got Tinkle. That's right, old Pepe Le Pew himself, Stinkor, with his dinky arse shield. I mean, would it have killed him to give him a little blaster pistol or some paint on the mouth at least? I don't know. I feel like while I do really dig the Stinkor figure in this line, I think it could have been just a tad bit better, because on some of these figures they did tweak them ever so slightly to make them just a tad better, and I think this guy would have benefited from that greatly, in my opinion. I think a little bit of paint on the teeth and a blaster, or even just a gas mask or something, would have spruced him up a bit, because what the heck are you going to do with a shield? Block a couple bullets to get shot in the head because now the back of his head's not covered? I don't know, but at the end of the day, it's Stinkor. He smells like burnt rubber instead of grandma's cooch or hipster scrotum, so, if you got a problem with that, buy some patchouli, spray him down, throw him in a plastic bag for a night or two, and he should smell just like the vintage one. Should you have to do that? No, but I can only assume that they couldn't use actual patchouli for health reasons or something like that. I don't know. Modern society's pretty punked out as far as I'm concerned. Can't take the heat sometimes, so that's more than likely why they did that. Smart from a business perspective, but it lacks that nostalgic punch that the old one has, which my vintage one, might I add, still stinks to this very day. And my vintage web store has a broken grapple hook, just like most other people's web stores, I assume. So, yeah, just some things about the vintage line. I really need to get my vintage collection out, though, so I can do a video showcasing it, because you guys probably don't believe that I have all these things when I actually do. Probably give me a bit more street cred if I had them handy. But moving on from him, we have the LOP Beastman, the Lords of Power Beastman, or as I like to call it, the mini comic Beastman, because that's really what it is, right? It's the red Beastman with the yellow armor. Quite possibly my second favorite of this wave. It's down between him and Stinkor, but I think I'm going to go with this Beastman, because I love the Gwar-like armor that this guy's got going on, along with the Wolverine claws, the more savage 8-man-like head sculpt on this guy. It just really works for me. It does something for me. But much like Webstore, his knees are a little bit on the loose side, so I may have to tighten those up or just pose him up like the vintage Beastman is posed with the bent knees and whatnot. So, yeah, not perfect, but I really dig that figure. I had a lot of fun filming his skit with the whole Benny Hill chase scene. If you haven't seen it yet, go check that out. But yeah, probably my second favorite in the wave. I love the more gorilla-looking Beastman, and I hope we get the Savage Beastman from Part 2 of MOTU Revelation. I know not everyone liked that show, but I did, and not gonna lie, that would make a cool toy, whether you liked the show or not. But wrapping up this wave, we have the Green Gortius, who has some pretty tremendous mold degradation towards the top of the hips there. It's pretty rough. Might need to sand that down a bit, smooth it out just a tad, because it is very kind of chewed up there. But other than that, I didn't really have any problems with this figure, other than the crotch peg's a bit loose, but I had that same problem on my Lord's Power Merman, and he stands just fine. She is no exception. She's got really nice tight legs to compensate for that loose crotch peg, so nothing too crazy there. Is basically just a green Tila, so if you took the armor off, you could have a snake Tila, I guess. Be that as it may, she also comes with the shield, which has a plastic handle this time around. And I will say the snake armor is also a little bit more loose-fitting than the Tila figure, so if you want more tighter armor, grab the armor off the Tila figure, throw it on this one, you should be good to go. But, yeah, not my favorite from this wave, but I will say this is probably the best female figure we've gotten this year. It's down between her or She-Ra. The Evil Lyn figures, they just seem like a bit of a rip-off for the money, you know? It doesn't feel like you're getting as much bang for your buck as you do with either the male figures or the other female figures, for that matter. So with that being said, that's pretty much it for Wave 6 of the MOTU Origins line, brought to us by the fine folks over at Mattel. One quick thing though, I gotta say, this wave has the best mini-comic title, Between a Rock and a Hard Place. One of the best Rolling Stone songs of all time. If you want to get a good showcase of all the band members' talent, check that song out. Charlie Watt goes absolutely nuts on the drums. R.I.P. Charlie Watt. We're gonna miss you, brother. So, with that being said, I would highly recommend you pick up this wave if you haven't already done so. It's a really solid wave. Again, probably first or second favorite wave of the year. I'm not gonna lie, I really like this wave. A lot of new stuff here, at least for me, because, you know, not everyone got the Lord's Power box set from a couple of years ago now, so, you know. Or is it just over a year and a half now? I can't keep track. There's so many releases nowadays, it's hard to keep up. So, with that being said, again, I hope you guys enjoyed this overview. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe. And if you are so inclined, please hit that notification bell so you know whenever I upload more content to the channel. This is going to wrap up, most likely anyways, my MOTU videos for the year. So I hope you guys enjoyed that as well. If anything, maybe a Revelation Battle Cat video, but don't hold me to that. That'll most likely come early next year. But, you know, as always, we got to show that algorithm who's boss, right? So again, don't forget to hit that notification bell. And if you haven't already, hit me up on Instagram at Overlord Productions. But as always, keep the comments civil, because the world sucks enough as it is. And until next time, I'll catch you guys later. So, Goddess, now that Adam is gone, I was thinking that maybe we could... What the... I'm back. God damn it!
Meanwhile...
Mon chéri. Now that He-Man is out of the picture, I was thinking that maybe you and I... Oh, don't even think about it, weirdo. I love it when they play hard to get. Ow, get away from me. Well, perhaps I've gone too far, no?